soul sake.
That's why the Bible is redundant. The Lord says things over and over because we're stiff-necked, hard-headed people. Read that.
We come together, our people. We come together, the Lord sheep of the house of Israel.
Calm down and listen to one another. And more importantly, listen to this Bible. Right? Okay, that's it.
But in this last day, the Most High is raising up the true prophets of God.
All praise. All praise. We're going to find out what's the way. Remember, the Bible is also a vocabulary book.
That's the question I'm asking. That nation is so big, like the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that has gone so nigh unto
The laws of God is the light that we gotta let shine before men.
About the atrocities that we survived.
Right.
Go ahead, read that.
Bring it up.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. But thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
You hear that, brother on the phone? We're above all people on the face of the earth.
Right.
But why are we in this condition, though? Why did we get in this position? Why are we down here in the ghettos getting killed?
Right.
How did Breonna Taylor get killed? Why? Because we broke the Most High God's commandment. Give me Deuteronomy 1 and 1. We in these conditions now because we broke the Most High God's commandments.
That's right.
Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
You hear that, bro in the white? You hear that, brother in the cap? These are the words that the Most High spoke to all Israel. So this Bible is only for us. Go ahead, read that.
On this side Jordan in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel, and Laban, and Hazeroth, and Dizahab.
All right, so go to 28:15. So now we're going to see what happened, because the book of Deuteronomy is just one continuous book. It's not just broken up into pieces. He's still talking to the children of Israel.
Bring it out.
In Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. Still the same people. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
You hear that, bro? So all these curses are going to overcome us and overtake. I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. Come on over here. I've been seeing you a few times. Come on over here, man. I know you don't believe it, but we brothers here, we got to talk and build up, man. All right? So they say all these curses are going to overcome us and overtake us. So we're bringing out who we are in this Bible. So most likely you are from the tribe of Judah. So the same people are from the tribe of Judah is the same tribe that Jesus the Christ came from.
That's right.
So you truly got royalty in your blood, bro.
That's right.
Read that again from 28:15.
Right.
So I know, bro, let's read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now give me Isaiah 30. Now, a lot of our people don't believe. You know what I'm saying? When they joke and laugh, they come around here like, yeah, ha, ha, ha. Right. Because that's our people. Right. And this identifies who we are. Read that. No, he good. Start at verse 9.
Isaiah chapter 30 verse 9. That this is a rebellious people.
See that? We're rebellious people. We don't like any kind of law no matter what kind of laws it is. We ain't gonna follow it. Go ahead.
Lying children.
And we lie. We talking about we love each other, Black Lives Matter. Black lives don't matter to us. You know what I'm saying? But guess what though? For the bulk of our people though, guess what? Black lives don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
See that? Our people don't want to hear the law of the Lord. Let's get one law, Leviticus 5 and 1. Our people don't want to listen to one basic law. Let's get that. Because what the snitches get? Read.
Bring it out. Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And if a soul sin
Somebody sin.
and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness,
So if you see somebody do evil and you witness or hear it, go ahead.
whether he have seen or known of it,
See or heard of it.
if he do not utter it,
If you don't say anything to somebody like the authorities, go ahead.
then he shall bear his iniquity.
You see that? Then you're gonna bear that same sin that brother got. Yeah, we're gonna get that. Okay. Okay, let's get Deuteronomy. Let's get right there, Deuteronomy 28 and start at verse 23. Let's get that.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 23. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass.
What's that over his head? What's over his head? It's like a cage almost, right? It's like a cage almost. Right. Same thing, right? Go ahead.
And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass.
Why would they do that though? Why would they put that on his head?
Back in the day, they said he was wrong because something. He said he went wrong, but white people.
But guess what though? He's probably a runner. If you're a slave, what you gonna try to do? You're gonna try to escape. And if you're in the woods, you got that on you. You can't run. You can't go nowhere. Right. And what about this one? So what about can you eat with that? You can't even eat with that, right? So that's another. So they inflict this where you can't escape and they control what we eat and everything. The same thing today. Look at the same thing today. Do we have any grocery stores in the hood? You don't see no Safeway or nothing like that, right? Same thing. All right, go ahead, read.
And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron.
Hear that? Verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
See, because we broke the Most High God's commandments, He's going to send our enemies, which the Lord sent against us. So the Lord sent the so-called white man against us because we broke His commandments. Go ahead.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger.
In hunger. So when we need food, right? Who do we got to go to? You don't see no black store named Johnson's supermarket, right? All right, go ahead.
And in thirst.
You don't see no black water companies or anything, right? We don't own nothing. What about in Flint, Michigan? You know about Flint, Michigan? What they do there? They poison the water. Yeah, they poison the water in Flint, Michigan. Now they got lead poison. They can't even drink out of it. They can't even drink or take a shower over there. Go ahead.
And in thirst. And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. So the clothes you got on. We don't own no textile companies. We might have like Jay-Z or something like Sean John on our clothes, but we don't own the textile companies that make the fabric.
Right.
There's no companies that we own like that. We got to go. Everything we got to do, we got to serve our enemies. Go ahead.
And in want of all things.
So everything that we own or everything that we want, we got to go to our enemies. So a death certificate, who do we got to go to? A birth certificate, a driver's license, a passport. We got to go to our enemies. Go ahead. And what did Most High call the white man? Our what? He called them our enemies. Okay. Now I'm saying so a death certificate, birth certificate, all those things we need, right? And he called them our enemies. We got to serve our enemies for all these things. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
What did the enemy do?
Put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So the people we trying to march with in the Black Lives Matter movement, we're marching with our enemies. We marching with our enemies, bro. We believe in Jesus the Christ. He's our leader. Which one is Jesus?
He's sheep led by the flesh.
All praises. So that's what we believe in. That's what we believe in. Let's get it. Let's get it. We're going to edify you, bro. I'm glad you stopped by today. All praises.
Revelations chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So this is the revealing of Jesus Christ. The root of Revelation means to reveal. To reveal something, you have to see it. Go ahead.
Which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Go ahead.
And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
So, we're on to verse 14. Now, we're going to get a description on how Jesus looked, on the revelation of how Christ really looks. Go ahead.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So you see that? In the old dictionary, the wool, it said the hair of the Negro. White like wool. So, what about his hair?
Ain't no white or no wool.
It's not white or it's woolly. It's like a dog's hair. If it get wet, what happened to it? It just lies down. It's dead. Right. What happens with our hair when it gets wet? It still stays the same. It just absorbs the water. Our hair reaches to the heavens. Go ahead.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow.
Go ahead.
His eyes were as a flame of fire.
See that? His eyes were as a flame of fire. The first miracle that Christ did, he turned water into wine. So when we drink wine, what color do our eyes get? Get red. There you go. Candlesticks, let's get that. Yeah, that's a menorah. Go ahead, we'll bring it down. We'll break it down for you.
12, yeah, 13, yeah.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 12. I turned to see the voice that spake with me.
So he's turned to see, who was that voice speaking to me? This is John the Revelator on the Isle of Patmos. He was in prison. He's like, who the world is this talking to me? Because it sounded familiar to him, because he's seen Christ before. Go ahead.
And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
So he saw 7 golden candlesticks. This is the description that we saw. So he had 7 golden candlesticks behind him. Go ahead.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
See that? In the middle of it, he saw the Son of Man, which is Christ. Huh? Yeah, Christ is still man. Get that Luke 19. Christ ain't no punk, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a punk. This is a punk right here.
That's right. Is it true that he turned the whole into a house light?
Huh?
Is it true that he turned the whole into a
No, that's garbage, man. No, that's garbage. Nah. Go ahead. Luke 19:21, yep.
Luke chapter 19 verse 21. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man.
See that? He said he fears, because at the point, because the man was afraid to come to Christ because he was an austere man. He wasn't no punk. He was a dude that spoke with authority. All right? So he wasn't no dude like this talking soft, walking around with a damn rag on, holding a damn lamb, talking about, I love everybody.
So he didn't love everybody?
He loves the 12 tribes of Israel. Get that Matthew 15. Get that Matthew 15. Let's see. Let's see who Christ came for. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 15 verse 24.
And this is in red letters, so we know this is Christ talking.
But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Plain and simple. You can't get more plainer than that. We can't have any wiggle room after that. He only came for us.
Right.
That's the name of Jesus Christ means. He came to save his people for their salvation. That's his name.
I'll post it up like nobody get the young man. You got the little bed like this, got the little bed like that. You got people right there like then you got these people like so.
Get Nehemiah 1 and 8. Oh, 8:1. Let's get that. Let's get that. So we're gonna show you, we're gonna bring you everything that you see, brother, is in the scriptures. Everything that you see is in the scriptures. Go ahead.
Nehemiah chapter 8 and verse 1.
So we're going to show you why we're in this formation. Go ahead.
And all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street.
You see that? That's why we're like as one man in the street. You see us? It's like a army position, right? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That was before the water gate. And they spake unto Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses.
So what are we doing? We're bringing the book of the what? In that formation, we're bringing the book, right? Go ahead.
which the Lord had commanded Israel. And Ezra the priest brought the law before the congregation.
So you the congregation, brother. What's your name, by the way? Stephen? All right. Steve Bow. Stable. Okay. All right. So stable. Stable. All right. So we are bringing the law in that formation right now. Right? Go ahead.
And Ezra the priest brought the law before the congregation, both of men and women, and all that could hear with understanding, upon the first day of the 7th month. And he read therein before the street.
Where we are now? In the street. Go ahead.
Before the street that was before the water gate, from the morning until midday.
Man, they was reading till morning till midday like we do now. We in morning till about 3 o'clock. Right? Go ahead.
Before the men and the women, and those that could understand.
So those that can understand. So if you hearing, that means what? It's resonating with you, right? Go ahead.
And the ears of all the people were attentive unto the book of the law.
You see that? That's what we're doing you right now. Go ahead.
And Ezra the scribe stood upon a pulpit of wood.
So the brothers that was right here, they actually had something to stand on top of this. It was like a stand, wood stand. Go ahead. No, that ain't it.
Which they had made for the purpose. And beside him stood Mattathiah.
Also, beside the readers stood one brother. Go ahead.
And Shema.
Another brother stood over there.
And Ananiah.
One brother was there.
And Urijah.
One brother was there.
And Hilkiah.
See that? One brother was behind it, so there's more people in this camp. Go ahead.
Messiah on his right hand.
You see that? So they had like an 8-man camp. We have a, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a different formation, but it's still the same. Yeah, same thing, different formation. Except for them that was behind, we got 2 in front now. You see that? Same thing, brother. All right? We go, like I said, we're gonna bring everything that you got a question. You got any more questions? I'm glad. Well, good. That's what we out here for. All praises.
Yeah, right here. I know what that is. That's when the war this right here.
Okay.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Deuteronomy, you're pointing to it right there. 28 and verse 37. Let's get that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
We're a proverb and a byword wherever we go. So what do we do? What was a proverb? Because anything out of your a proverb is a wise saying. A proverb is a wise saying. Like if you want to hide something from a nigga, where do you put it? Hey, this is what the Bible says. You put it in a what? You know what the saying is. What do black people love to eat? Chicken and what? Watermelon, right? Black people are always what? They not on time. We bad fathers, right? Those are all proverbs against the children of Israel. And a byword, what's a byword? Okay, move this right here. A byword is anything outside of your God-given name. Your God-given name is Judah.
That's right. I said, no, real name ain't my name.
Right, so what's your real last name? What's your real last name? I hate it. I would hate it too. Walters. So guess what? Master Walters had your ancestors in slavery.
That's right.
That's what happened. Right? All right, so African American is the same thing. How old are you? 24? Okay, you probably about the same age as the name that they gave you right here. The African American, Jesse Jackson, changed that. Yeah, he said that we're no longer called Negroes, we're gonna be called African Americans. 1986. So yeah, no, you probably a little bit younger. Yeah, you're a little bit younger. All right, so your God-given name is Judah. They call you African American. The so-called tribe of Benjamin, they call us up Jamaicans today. That's the Proverbs, right? That's what Proverbs is. Go ahead.
That's right.
And a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So whither the Lord shall lead us. Where did we get led? We got led into captivity. How did we get here?
To the wrong spot.
How did we get led here though? On what?
The ship.
What kind of ship? Was it a vacation ship?
I don't know.
What kind of ship was it? Slave ship. Somebody get that poster too. It was a slave ship. That's how we got here.
That's where it's jacked up and all that.
So did that happen to anybody else? That only happened to us. What about the Chinese man? Chinese man, did that happen to the Chinese? Nope. What about the Arab man? The white man? The so-called Jewish people that call themselves Jews today. That didn't happen to them, right? Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
So this is what happened to us because we broke the Most High God's commandments. Remember that. Say again? No, that's paintings. Those are images. Those are like statues or whatever showing what we went through. Yeah, that was the actual movie. Some of these are from movies, and some of these are paintings of people who were actually there. They actually drew the paintings of what they saw.
Damn, bro.
So yeah.
That shit fucked up.
It is. It is.
Where is this in Baltimore?
They have one in Baltimore. They do have one. Yeah, okay. All praise also. Yeah, Lexington Market was a slave market. You know what Lexington Market is? Yeah, that was a slave market. Yeah, that was a slave market, bro. They did this right here to us in the Lexington Market. They were probably one of the biggest slave ports in the East Coast. Annapolis, all of those places. Big slave ports. All right, go ahead. So, we're going to read about that. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So he said he's going to bring us to Egypt again with ships. Let's see what Egypt means. Because right now, if I read that to you, that don't make sense. But we're going to see what Egypt means. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
You see that? Egypt is synonymous with house of bondage. So it's a Greek word meaning Egyptos. That's what Egypt means. So Egypt is house of bondage. Now we're going to go back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, and now it's going to be clear. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Go ahead.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
He's going to bring us into bondage
again with ships.
We were bought on cargo slave ships. Where's that sign at? Somebody give me that sign. Cargo slave ships. Yep. Who did this happen to? They ain't happened to nobody else. So who's this Bible talking to then? It's talking to you. It's talking to you. It's talking to you. Exactly. Go ahead. Go ahead. All right, we'll get that. Hold on, we'll get that. Let's finish this out first, though.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Because why? Christ said, the Most said that was going to happen. I spoke only this was going to happen.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
So we weren't going to see our homeland no more again, which is in Jerusalem, which is part of Africa. Go ahead.
And there,
so once we got off of those slave ships, what happened?
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
We were sold to our enemies. So is the white man our what?
Your enemy.
That's right.
He's our enemy, brothers.
And you want to know something? My best friend was like, he out of his 15. Him and Nick.
But guess what? He wasn't your friend, though. He's a friend for an occasion.
I know that.
Go ahead.
For bondmen.
For slave men. Right here. He said we were sold to our enemies.
So
right here. Look at what happened right here.
So all them people are white.
What's this right here? Yeah, look at that. Who is that? That's a white man. Who is this?
White guy.
All these guys right here.
White guy.
All these guys back there. Who are these guys? That's a father, mother, and a what? And a baby, right? Right here. Baby, father, mother, and a daughter.
Oh, he with them.
I don't know. No, he's not. Look at that. Look at that. He's not too happy. He's just next up in line, brother. He's next. So look at that. That's our enemies did that.
I used to be downtown too. I seen them.
And guess what? And guess what? The Most High ain't forgot that. He ain't forget that, brother.
Bring it out.
Get that in Revelation 14. Get that in Revelation 14. Was it 23? Something like that? Let's get that. Because who led us into captivity? The white people. Y'all agree? You agree, brother? To the white man that is in the captivity?
You agree?
Yeah. Okay, all praises.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity.
Remember, who led us into captivity?
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
See that? Whoever led us into captivity, which is the white man, they're going into captivity. And it's not only the white man that led us into captivity. The Arab man led us into captivity. The Chinese man had us in captivity. The East Indian had us in captivity. Everybody but us had each other in captivity.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.